My name is Monique Shields, and I'm born and raised in Seattle, Washington, and currently reside in Tacoma with my husband, Corey.
We've been married 30 years. Also, we have two sons, Kendall and Justin.
Every Black woman I knew when I was growing up died of stroke. Like, my grandmother had 4 strokes before she died. And it was like, why is this? So I knew that heart disease, stroke was really prominent in the African American community, but I didn't know anything, beyond that. 23 years ago is when I gave birth to my first son, and I developed preeclampsia.
We have to emphasize how routine this day felt. She went to the doctor's appointment just like she went to the doctor's appointments before. I happened to get off work and I was waiting for her to get back from this doctor's appointment.
So at that point, I wasn't even at my weekly prenatal appointments because I still had 6 weeks before my baby was due. So I remember just running home, throwing on some flip-flops and grabbing my purse and walking out the door to the doctor's office. And when I got there, of course, my blood pressure was taken and it was really high. And so the nurse had me lay down and rest and turn out the lights. And then she came back and it was still really high. So she said, you need to go over to emergency to get your blood pressure monitored. I'm like, okay, because I felt fine.
So she calls me and she tells me that they're gonna have her rest because of her blood pressure. And we both laugh it off because we assumed that by her laying down that her blood pressure will go down. We've never had anything like this happen before because we had never been pregnant before. So
I get over there and they had a wheelchair and they wheeled out a wheelchair and I'm like, I don't need that. And they said, yes, you do. And I was admitted into the hospital. About 2 hours there is when I started seeing spots in front of my eyes, just laying in the bed. But I really didn't know what was going on. I kept calling my husband, telling him I'd be home that evening. And then later in the evening is when my doctor came in plain clothes and said they would need to send me in an ambulance to another hospital that handled high-risk pregnancies.
By then I came to the hospital. Her doctor was there and he explained it in layman's terms as best he could as to what was going on with her and what he suspected was going on with her and how important it was that having her induced.
I was put on bed rest for 2 days and then induced. But during that whole time, really no doctors coming in, no nurses, no advocates coming in and saying, this is what you have, this is your condition, that there could even be risk during the delivery and after.
That part he had to get across to me. It's about Monique. You can think about the child after that, but we gotta really focus in on Monique. I tried to stay calm as best I could and, be there for my wife, because actually she's the one going through this.
So I had my son 6 weeks early, premature. Afterwards, my blood pressure would not go down, and they continued to have me on bed rest. A day or 2 later, I was told that I had preeclampsia, and I couldn't even pronounce it. And I kept asking my husband, what is it again I have?
Once he was born, it was, a sigh of relief, but we weren't out of the woods yet.
I was told that I had high blood pressure. I knew that I needed to make some changes. Through the American Heart Association Go Red for Women gave me the empowerment to take control of my own health. And that's exactly what I did. I started out by walking. With that, starting to watch what I was eating. And then eventually I came into partnership with my doctor, and we're partners in this. Talking about my blood pressure, taking my readings at home, taking my medication, and then I was one to request to start going to a cardiologist.
There's a correlation to exercise, diet, that can really affect her numbers. So she really takes pride in doing that, and she takes great effort in doing it.
Black women are the highest case of high blood pressure and to die from high blood pressure. Managing my blood pressure is a lifestyle change. And for me to keep my blood pressure down requires the full lifestyle for me.